Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing What If Deku Was a Prodigy Part 1. And the person who actually inspired me to make this video was Basberry, so link in the description below. So aside from that, let's get started into this What If.
So basically, Deku starts crying because Bakugo made fun of him all the time. So Deku, most of the time he cries like a little baby, and he's always so dumb and stupid. And so basically, this old man named Gran Torino sees this, and he sees him as super annoying. So Gran Torino takes him under, and basically Deku starts training and seems to get a lot stronger. After some time, Deku goes to Bakugo and says, "Hey Bakugo, I'm much stronger than you now." And Bakugo's like, "Oh really?" And Bakugo gets all mad and becomes a cranky little baby. And Deku says, "Haha, you're such a baby." And Bakugo gets mad and starts to blast Deku. But Deku gets blasted away and thinks he thought he got stronger, but he actually didn't, and starts crying like a little baby and says, "Oh, I thought I got stronger." And Bakugo says, "You're a piece of shit. You'll never get stronger." And Deku was like, "Why, Bakugo? Why do you gotta do this to me?" And Bakugo starts blasting Deku with a bunch of bombs, and then this person, like Aizawa, tries to stop him, but he blasts Aizawa away, and Aizawa goes to sleep because he's a big sleepyhead and nobody wants him. So yeah, so Bakugo keeps like blasting Deku, and Deku's like, "I'm stronger now," and he punches Bakugo, but that did nothing. And Bakugo said, "You're such a baby. You're so weak. I was stronger than you when I was 5." And Deku started crying like a 5-year-old, and Deku gets super stupid and mad. After that, Deku meets All Might and he does that cleaning thing, and Deku gets a lot stronger in this timeline. And then Deku's like, "I'm the man of the world and king of the world." So All Might punches him and says, "You're still super weak." And Deku starts crying like a little baby again. And then All Might punches him again because Deku's being such a baby. Deku's being a baby all day long because All Might punched him. And he gets rid of all the papers of All Might because he got really mad at him because he punched him, but then soon realized All Might was doing it for his own good. So he went back to All Might and started crying, but then All Might punched him because he started crying. And then Deku went back and destroyed all the figurines, but then he realized again, so he went back to All Might and said sorry, and All Might realized what was going on, so he stopped punching Deku. So after that, Deku got the quirk one for all, and Deku was like, "I'm the superhero and the king of the world," and he goes around and he went to this guy who was stealing money from this old lady, so he goes and tries to help her, but the old guy shoots Deku, and Deku's able to catch the bullet. Deku thought he was some god, so he started doing this, and so he said, shoot me more," and he was getting shot at, and he couldn't catch the bullet, so Deku had wind up to the hospital. After that, this hag greeted Deku, and Deku said, "Why is the hag treating me? Have some good doctor treat me." And then the hag punched Deku in the face, and then Deku started crying like a little baby again, and then the hag healed up Deku, and then Deku said, "I'm sorry for being mean to you," and the hag said, "You're gonna be a hag soon if you don't train harder, and if you get shot at this all the time." And Deku started crying because he thought he was gonna be a hag, and then Gran Torino started hitting Deku because he was being a baby, and then Deku started actually taking stuff seriously, and then the UA exams happened, and the same thing happens. And once Deku started fighting Bakugo, he got a good thing out with One for All, but still lost to Bakugo, and was talking about that speech, started crying, and Bakugo punched Deku in the face because Deku was crying all the time, and Deku said, "Why do you gotta do this to me, Bakugo? You're so mean." And Bakugo says, "Deku, you're so stupid, ugly, and dumb." And Deku starts to cry again, and he starts whining like a little baby, and is getting made fun of all the time, and everybody starts laughing at him once he comes back to class because everyone saw him cry. And so Deku got mad at everyone and shot a one for all bullet at every single person in the class. And then everybody used their quirks at Deku, and Deku went home to the hospital again with recovery girl healing him again. And then Deku gets back and gets back at everybody, and everybody gets back at Deku again, and everybody realizes that they shouldn't make fun of Deku so he doesn't like get in their way. So that's what happens, and then Deku does that thing, and then Aizawa takes his quirk away, and then Deku starts to cry because he thought he lost his quirk, and then he started saying that, and everybody started laughing at him and said, "I knew he didn't have a quirk," and Aizawa said, "You know the casualties of One for All, and yeah, that's what Deku said, and then Deku was allowed to do it again, and then Deku was acting like a baby, saying "Hooray, I got it so high," and yeah, that's what happened with Deku, and Deku was being really stupid, and everybody else went, and so yeah. Deku was stronger than himself in the original time, and he was just acting like a baby because Gran Torino beat him up all day and abused him. So yeah, Deku was being really stupid. Oh, I just never mind. So basically that's what happens, and Deku gets really, really dumb and stupid, except he gets really strong. Actually, nah, he becomes smart again. And then Deku goes back to being a baby and goes around saying, Kachan, Kachan, Nichan, Nichan. And Bakugo blasts him in the face for being such a baby. And Deku starts to cry and goes back home and says, Bakugo's being mean to me. And his mom goes to Bakugo's mom and says, Bakugo's being really mean to Deku. And Bakugo's mom blasts Deku in the face. Deku's mom in the face because she was annoying him because she was trying to eat her food and watch television, and she got mad at this, and Deku's mom started crying because she got hurt, and Deku got mad that his mom got hurt, so he blasted a One for All thing at his mom, and his mom died because of that, and Bakugo held a grudge against Deku because he killed his mom, so then Bakugo killed Deku's mom, and yeah, and then Deku wanted to get back at Bakugo, so he killed Bakugo's dad, and Bakugo killed Deku's dad, who is, I don't know who that is, but yeah, Bakugo killed Deku's dad, and yeah. And then Gran Torino comes and says, "Stop killing each other's siblings." And then they both realize what they did wrong, so they went back. And yeah, that's what happens. And Deku comes back to his senses. Bakugo goes back to his senses. Then Deku learns more of One for All after Gran Torino, and then Stain comes in, and Deku was being a whiny baby, saying, "You beat up the best, most favorite superheroes. How could you?" And Stain said, "With this attitude, you will never be a hero." And Deku started crying because he thought he will never be a hero. But let's backtrack with the UA exams. So Deku said, "Why don't you fight me at your full power, Todoroki? You think lightly of me?" And Todoroki says, "Stop crying, Midoriya." And yeah, that's what happens. And then he said, "Is this about your mom? Why, she poured boiling water on your face, so why don't you get back at her?" And Todoroki got the great idea. So after the UA exams, Todoroki went to the hospital to see his mom, and then he started using his fire quirk and burned his mom's face, and then he used his ice glacier and then killed his mom. And then yeah, that's basically what happens with Todoroki. And he goes on and tries to get stronger to beat up his father, and yeah, and actually he starts to like his father because he taught him how to use, he got him two quirks and everything, and realized his mom was actually the bad person. So yeah, Deku was happy that Todoroki got his revenge, and more importantly, Todoroki won't take him lightly anymore. So then they got their rematch, and Deku got beaten up really badly, and then he started crying again, went to Recovery Girl, and started crying and saying, "Todoroki won't go all out on me." And she said, "Well, look at you, what happens if Todoroki only went 50%?" And Deku started getting even more mad, and he started to cry again. And yeah, that's basically what happens. Then Gran Torino told him to stop the cry, so basically he said, "Stop crying all the time, Deku." And so Gran Torino taught Deku how to not cry, but Deku hid it and was crying all the time, so he wouldn't cry in front of Gran Torino, and that's what he did. He cried all in the morning, he cried when the food was bad, and he started to cry even more. Bakugo and Gran Torino, All Might, they all get onto this, and they start to beat up everyone, and then One for All comes, and Deku was like crying like crazy, and One for All sees him, so he goes there and passes through All Might and starts to beat up Deku, and then Deku starts crying, and One for All gets confused, and Deku punches One for All, and that didn't really do anything, and then All Might saw he was backtracked, so he killed the villains that were after Bakugo, and then he just killed All for One and Deku, and so All Might survived, and All Might's quirk survived, and Deku always cried all the time because of that night, and yeah. And then Bakugo comes to Deku and told him that you're being such a stupid baby, and yeah, that's what happens. So Deku, all in all, is a baby. He starts crying, and then he used his crying ability with the League of Villains, and they got confused. So All Might swooped in and beat them all up, and that's what happened with Shigaraki. And yeah, that's what happens. That's how Deku's a prodigy. He cries all day, and yeah, everybody rears Deku as a hero for crying all day and being stupid. So yeah, Deku is a hero.